never seen a play like this in my entire life. Baker Mayfield fighting for his life. Rachaad White fighting for his life. And Deron Bland fighting for the football. And he got it.
Hey y'all, this is Bucket Talk here, your daily mailbag for all things Dallas Mavericks and Dallas Cowboys. I'm your host for today, Nirvan.
And I'm your co-host for today, I'm Mahan.
What's going on, y'all? This is Bucket Talk, and today we'll be recapping the 2024/2025 NFL season and kind of, Super Bowl predictions. So, Han, I first want to get your input on, how the playoffs turned out with all the teams, upsets, who you thought would go further. Let me get some input on that.
So even though we're Dallas, we're like Dallas based, I really wanted to see the Commanders go far in this, and they went a lot further than I thought they would go. They upset the Lions, and even the Bucks. They aren't an easy matchup, but they upset the Lions. They beat the Bucks. In Philly, it was just a matter of having the personnel to go up against people like Saquon Barkley and people like that caliber, and they're still a young team, so I think there's a lot of hope for that. On the AFC side, I was really surprised when the Ravens lost. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I wouldn't say Lamar chokes in the playoffs, but I feel like he slightly underperforms. I wouldn't say this game's a good example because I think a lot of blame should go to Mark Andrews, especially for dropping that ball. But I don't know. I just, I feel like the Ravens are just never getting it done. They're never getting it done past, I don't know. They're not getting to that AFC championship. And I also to add on to you speaking about the Lions and Commanders, I really thought the Lions would make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, me too.
That kind of shocked me. The Commanders are good, don't get me wrong, but the Lions, they were dominating this whole season, and then for them to just go out like that, it really shocked me.
Yeah, and then speaking on your point about Mark Andrews, the same thing happened to the Bills once they did advance. Josh Allen threw that crazy ball, and Dalton Kincaid, he got hated on, and he was being compared to Mark Andrews because it wasn't a drop, but it was catchable pass.
I would obviously say that's catchable, but Mark Andrews, the ball right here versus Kincaid diving, which is a lot harder with multiple defenders there. So it was a harder catch, but I think, Mark Andrews, and he had a fumble also on a big-time play. So, I don't know. I think the Ravens, I feel like they have plays like this where they choke. Last year, when they played the Chiefs, their defense played lights out, but Zay Flowers went down the field, got a touchdown, and then taunted, got called back. Yeah. So, these plays like this, I feel like that's the reason they're losing some of these games.
Do you think it's because of the coaching? Because Harbaugh has been, one of the most stable coaches in the NFL, but I feel like he hasn't really done anything without Flacco.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I don't know. With Lamar, they've been really successful, but I feel like they're never getting over that hump. I feel like maybe some of it is they could be undisciplined. I don't know. I feel like a lot of these players are just stupid, easy mistakes that they should just, as a good football team, you can't make these mistakes and be a Super Bowl contender, right?
I feel like it comes down to one mistake on a lot of these games they do lose. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's always being I feel like the player who makes that mistake is always the scapegoat, when in reality, it's not usually their fault. Mark Andrews, it was a catchable pass and probably should have been caught, but it's everyone plays a role in that game, so you can't blame one person for that whole game.
Mm-hmm. And I want to get your input on, the Chiefs and Bills game, because it's now Mahomes and the Chiefs are 4-0 against the Bills. What do you think about this?
I think, again, it's a personnel issue for the Bills. I feel like they always get in these amazingly close games, and Allen performs every single time. He's not once underperformed against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I feel like the defense needs a little help for sure. Putting up with Patrick Mahomes is a tall task, but you cannot be Allen doesn't have any weapons whatsoever except for Kincaid, and he's still making it work on the offensive side. So you can't be letting down your franchise guy like that in these games where he plays his heart out and he puts it all on the line, and 4 times in a row it just hasn't worked out for them. Yeah,
to add on to your point about the Bills and Josh Allen not having help, what really interests me is I think the Chiefs and the Bills, both of them, if you really look at look on paper, I think the Bills are even less talented, but these teams aren't really talented compared to Ravens, the Lions, the Eagles, I don't know, the Chiefs, they've had a lot of injury problems. Lost Rashee Rice. Pacheco doesn't look like he is. Kelsey is not, as good as he used to. And then the Bills have practically no one, no wide receiver one. Their defense is okay. They lost people. So, but what I think is the difference between these games is like, yes, Josh Allen plays his heart out. I feel like, number one, it has to be coaching. I think McDermott is not getting it done against Andy Reid, potentially one of the best coaches of all time. The clear, obvious answer also is Patrick Mahomes. I think he's so good at winning games. I know the refs do favor him, but I mean, I feel like that's, it happens when you're one of the best QBs in football. Tom Brady got the same attention. And another thing I would like to add that I feel like is underrated about the Chiefs, their defense, I think, is a bunch of veterans who play so good when they need to. They make big stops when they need to. They stop the run when they need to. They get sacks. And I think that's why they're also good at winning games, is their defense is a bunch of veterans who step up in big-time games.
And I feel like it's a will for wanting to play for that franchise guy. Like, you see everyone rise to the occasion in the clutch for the Chiefs. Some other teams, they just don't have that. Like Dallas, we don't have anyone who cares for Dak Prescott. Like, it's just the reality. And these elite quarterbacks like Mahomes and Allen, it almost seems like they do more with less. Like, if you look at Allen with Stephon Diggs, he's been much better this year opposed to last year. And if you look at Mahomes with Tyreek Hill, his numbers may be better then, but he's been more winning without him. So it's interesting. I don't know how that plays a point, because maybe they're just targeting one person the whole game and not spreading the ball around. But it's interesting to look at that.
I think those guys bring in a lot more attention, so it could lead to higher numbers or even less numbers, like you were saying with Josh Allen and Diggs. But a lot of it could also be like maybe these guys have high egos, right? They get frustrated, especially Stephon Diggs. And, Josh Allen, I feel like maybe without Diggs, he's able to play more freely, able to throw to whoever's open, run a lot. So I don't know. That could be a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like Allen always gets screwed over in these big-time games.
I have to feel so bad for him. I mean, he plays his heart out. I mean, I think, he's been phenomenal this season, and they always just it's not even it's always, by 3 points or by touchdown, they lose to the Chiefs every year.
Yeah, and this Super Bowl is probably the most dreaded thing anyone could want. Like, seeing Eagles and Chiefs the first time, fine, it's happened. We didn't like it then. Now it's like, can neither team win? Like, that's what all of America is wondering. These are two of the most hated fan bases in the world. So if you were to choose one team to win, because I know you don't like either of these teams, which one would it be?
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily hate the Chiefs. I mean, the Eagles, it's the fan base that really pisses me off. The team, I like some players on there, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I can't say the Eagles either as a Cowboys fan. So I really I feel like I'm neutral. Whoever wins is fine, If Mahomes wins, I think he's making his case for, reaching Tom Brady's level, right? Maybe surpassing him. And then if the Eagles win, I think Barkley and, Hurts are both legendary players and soon to be Hall of Famers. But I'm neutral in this one. What about you?
I just can't stand the Eagles, man. Since I was a kid, I go to these games and it's the first thing I see when I walk into AT&T is some loud, obnoxious Eagles fan. And it's dude, I just can't live with myself if I pick the Eagles to win. Because even though I hate the Chiefs, because of everything they do, they're just so good for no reason. It's I have to pick them because of the Eagles are the team I hate the most in across any sport. Even when it comes to basketball, I do not hate a team more than the Eagles.
Just the city of Philadelphia as a whole. Speaking on that, I want to get I want to hear your prediction of who you think will win the Super Bowl.
Okay, even though I do want the Chiefs to win, I think the Eagles are going to clear them. I think the run game is just simply too strong. And even though the Chiefs are amazing in these super close games, I don't think it's going to be a close game. I think the Eagles will win by 15.
Oh, wow. So for me, I don't know. It's like you were saying earlier, the Chiefs are just so good for no reason. I totally agree with that. I don't know. It feels that every year they just make it to the stage every time. I mean, especially the past 2 years, this year they've been a lot better in the regular season. But last year they had
rough season.
Not really a good regular season, right? And I don't know. Mahomes is just so good at winning close games, right? I think everyone around them just they play they have so much experience. There's and then so well coached by Andy Reid. So for me, like, I don't know, it's going to be tough, like, on picking the winner. I think it is tough, though, to beat a team that you already faced again in the Super Bowl. So I would have to go to the Eagles, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win. I mean, like, every year, right? Like, oh, the Chiefs, like, no, I don't think they'll go to the Super Bowl again. I don't think they'll go to AFC Championship again. They make it every year. They beat out all the talented teams, and they're back at the spot every single year.
I'm just, like, done doubting all these teams, dude, because it's like every time you doubt them, it's like...
They do well, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think if the Eagles can respond to adversity and, play. They've seen this Chiefs team before. If they can, and the Chiefs team they faced before was more talented, I think.
Yeah, it's better.
So if they can, respond to adversity and, I think, have a great second half and come out the first half quick, handing off Saquon the ball, getting their targets down the field, playing good defense, I think they can get away with this game. I'd say it'd be a close game.
I think if it's a close game, the Chiefs will win it just because of how clutch they are. Yeah. But I think if the Eagles start fast, like, and even if they start slow, if they don't abandon the run, like, I think they're golden. I don't think any single team can limit Saquon Barkley's production for an extended period of time.
Especially behind that O-line they have.
Yeah. I think if the Chiefs limit him for a quarter, the Eagles just can't abandon the run game because they'll get so worn down and he'll have one of those 60-yard runs.
Yeah, that too. And I also think that, the Chiefs defense is very good. You have Chris Jones back there. If they do, get overly aggressive on stopping the run, then you have their pass will be set up wide open, right? You have guys like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. So all really good receivers and tight ends that, A.J. Brown, he's a beast. Devonta Smith is a deep threat. So I think, if they do focus a little too much on Saquon, that pass will open up quite a bit.
Yeah, and an underrated part of Jalen Hurts' game is his ability to throw the deep ball because even though he's primarily a scrambling quarterback and that's how their offense is built and that's how it works, right when you think that they're going to run the ball nonstop, they take the top off and bomb it deep to A.J. Brown. They could get the seam across the middle to Devonta Smith. They get Dallas Goedert on the outside for a touchdown. It's like there's so many dimensions to their offensive game. It's so hard to keep up with that.
Yeah, I know the Eagles are, very unexpected. Last year, though, what I will say is, I feel like, last year with the coordinator they had, it felt like every 5 plays, QB draw with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, deep out with A.J. Brown. It was so predictable. But this year, I think it's been different. That their run game has opened up a lot of stuff for their offense, and I feel like their receivers have been they've been running a lot more unpredictable routes. Right, last year I remember A.J. Brown was playing so good, but teams started to know exactly what was running. Right, they have deep threat. They've had the safety over the top. They would know that he's running deep out. So, but I think it's different for the Eagles this year. They've been really good,
and it hurts to know the reason the Eagles are doing well is because of that coordinator, and that coordinator. It was Kellen Moore, who's a Cowboys offensive coordinator who then got fired. And he was supposed to get the job, then we gave it to Schottenheimer. So it just hurts.
Yeah. To add on to that, that's why, I hate to say this, but as a Cowboys fan, I swear the Eagles will always just have that edge over us because they do what's needed for the team. We needed a running back. Who do we sign? Zeke Elliott. Washed. Who do they get? Saquon Barkley. They need to fire their coordinators. They do that and pick up Kellen Moore, helps their offense tremendously. And then on top of their Saquon and their amazing O-line, their offense plays amazing this year. And then what they do on defense, they had problems, draft well and sign defensive players and get a new defensive coordinator. Exactly. So that's why they'll always just be better than us. They do what's needed for the team, while Jerry Jones'
ego is too big.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like you said, the running back thing in particular, we had Derrick Henry handed to us. He wanted to be a Cowboy, and we couldn't pay him $7 million.
It's because too much money's going to Dak. Another problem. Yeah. Dak is being paid like he's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, but he's not those caliber of players. As much as I defend him, I think he's a great guy. He's not fit for the job. I don't think he's a top 7 QB.
Yeah.
He might play good in the regular season, but does it matter when you underperform in the playoffs?
I don't think the team is fit for Dak. I feel like it needs to be a certain system, and I think the system isn't aligning well. And I think in a couple of years, we're going to have the conversation to move on from him.
Mm-hmm. The system, and I feel like Dak, he's lost his ability. Right?
Ankle injury.
Yeah, a lot of injuries. Like he used to be an improviser. He could extend plays, but I feel like we've lost that from him. And I feel like now in this era of football, you've got to be able to run the football. We've seen this in college football, and you've seen this in the NFL. I feel like you've got to be able to have some sort of running ability. These defensive ends are too fast. These D linemen are too fast. Linebackers are too fast. You're just going to get sacked. I feel like you have to run the football. You have to be able to run.
Even Mahomes, who you don't expect to run at all, he still gets an occasional first down with 10-yard run out of the middle of nowhere.
And I won't even say occasional. He gets that a lot because Mahomes is, I feel like, he's not even a fast guy. He says this himself, right? But
he's big. He's not even skinny. He's big.
Yeah, the thing with him is he's like so shifty and his instincts are so good, which makes him so evasive. I feel like he's just like, he makes defenders look silly.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of interesting QB stuff for the Cowboys to look forward to. But I don't know how it's going to play out, especially because we already paid the guy.
Exactly.
So I feel like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we have to stick with him.
All right, now I want to listen on who do you think will win MVP this season?
Lamar. I think Lamar will win. Just because I feel like MVP is a more regular season award. I feel like it should be Josh Allen, but I think Lamar will win.
So I have to disagree with you on this one. I know Lamar's stats are better. They've been amazing. But I think what will be in consideration for sure is how Josh Allen led his team in the regular season to, a playoffs appearance, right? They had no one, right? And Josh Allen's just like playing amazing in all of these games. Amazing. So I think that will go into consideration. Also, Lamar did win last season, so.
What you said is very true. It happened in the NBA too. Jokic should have won MVP and Embiid won just because Jokic won 2 years in a row. So I feel like that is a very valid point. I guess we're going to have to wait to see on that one.
Lamar's stats are better, but I would say like the way Josh Allen has carried his team this year, I don't know. I feel like
Allen doesn't
deserves
have any weapons either.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, I think Allen.
All right, I want to hear your take on Defensive Player of the Year because this one, it can be pretty controversial.
Okay, I think it's not any of the big names, to be honest with you. I feel like it's going to be Zach Bond just because of how much he's improved and like how much of an asset he's been to the Eagles. But I could see Surtain winning it as well. But I don't think it'll be either of Myles Garrett. I don't think it'll be Myles Garrett.
Okay. Yeah, you don't think any of the ends like TJ Watt, Trent Nixon will. Yeah, I low-key agree with you. I think Surtain will win it. I mean, he has been shut down this season. I think I was looking at a stat, like, I don't think he's allowed more than like maybe 100, 200 yards.
Yeah,
no,
like yeah.
I mean, that's absurd. Like, he's been shut down. And big name was wide receiver ones, right? And like, I remember in fantasy football, right? Like, people going against Surtain, they were projected to have fewer points because of how good he is.
Yeah, even in fantasy, like, I would bench my players against Surtain. No matter how good they were, I would bench them.
Yeah. And like, corners, position where like, there's not a lot of credit, that gets to them because, they're not really making picks and I don't know, they're not really making big hits, but they're just covering their man, right? And I don't know, a lot of, non-football fans won't really like understand that Surtain, I think, deserves it, but he does for sure. Like, he's been shut down. I think he should win the Defensive Player of the Year.
I also think it should be Surtain, but I think it will be Zach Bond.
All right, now I want to hear who do you think will win. I think this is, I mean, we can both agree on this. Who do you think will win Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Oh, wait.
Or sorry, offensive.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, yeah. I agree with Daniels. Even though Brock Bowers has been phenomenal, I think he's been the best tight end in NFL this year, no doubt. But I think Jaden, and he's a QB, works to his favor. But Jaden Daniels has been phenomenal. And I know that the playoffs don't go into consideration, but he beat the Lions, and he's been a phenomenal in the regular season as a dual threat guy. He was really good. All right. Lastly, I want to hear your input on the Coach of the Year. Who do you think it'll go to?
Oh, okay. Low key, this one's like a little hard for me because I feel like Sean Payton did a tremendous job with the Broncos, but I don't think it'll be him. I feel like, if anything, it should be Sirianni, but I also don't think it'll be him. So, I don't know. I kind of want to hear what you have to say first.
I think Sirianni has a good case, but I think Dan Quinn also has a huge case to win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
completely turning around the Commanders. And another guy we lost from the Cowboys. He was an amazing coordinator.
We should have just promoted him.
Yeah.
Like, we should just fired McCarthy, promoted him.
Yeah, I know. He chose to leave, though. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah, it's a better job.
Yeah. I mean, head coaching's out, but I think for sure. Yeah, Sean Payton did, have a good season, but I think Dan Quinn.
They went far in the playoffs, too, so I think I'll agree with you on that one with Dan Quinn for sure.
Uh-huh. Oh, I think we forgot one. I want to hear your input on Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Oh, I think it'll be Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean. Yeah, I was also agreeing with you. DeJean has been really good. That wide backfield duo and DeJean and what's his name?
Mitchell, Quinyon Mitchell.
No, the other wide guy they have in the Eagles.
Oh,
secondary. Hold on. Yeah, he's a safety, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's I don't know. Mitchell is also a corner that's a rookie too. He's been really good. He's probably in the running.
No, I'm talking about they're like, the white, duo that.
Yeah.
Reed Blankenship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That duo's been phenomenal. They've been cool to watch. Yeah, I think DeJean could win it. I don't know. A lot of these guys, the rookies defensively this year weren't as, I feel like weren't as good compared to last year. Yeah.
They weren't.
I'm looking here, the nominees are Cooper DeJean, Braden Fisk. He's been really good, actually. Braden Fisk for the Rams is DN. He could also win it. He's been phenomenal. I forgot about him. But Quinyon Mitchell, yeah, like you were saying, he's been amazing too. And then Chop Robinson, he's had an okay season.
Yeah. I feel like in other years he wouldn't even be nominated.
Yeah, he was a dog in college, but this year, he had a decent season, but yeah. But the Rams DN, he has also a good case. He's been amazing this year. Verse has been amazing.
Verse has been really good. I don't know.
All right, man.
On this one. All right.
And that's a wrap for today's NFL episode. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.